Good morning to everyone. Today we will see what is play. What is play? Play can be defined as the activity in which a person engages himself or herself when he or she is free to do what he wants to do. I repeat, play can be defined as the activity in which a person is engaged when he or she is free to do what he or she wants to do. So let us write the definition. Play can be defined as the activity in which an individual or a person engages himself or herself when he or she is free to do what he or she wants to do. Play can be defined as the activity in which an individual or a person engages himself or herself when he or she is free to do what he or she wants to do is known as play. Now let us see the importance of play. Importance of play. First of all, wherever there is a physical activity, there is a development of physical. So first point we can write physical development. Play is very important for physical development of children and adults. If a child does not play from the very beginning, his physical development does not take place properly. Even the internal organs of a child are developed properly if he plays or engages himself or herself when they are free. Next point, play makes a child creative. Here play helps to make a child creative. It allows the children to create and explore new facts. They become curious to know the hidden facts of the life when they engage himself or herself to any activity known as play. Third point, play is helpful in teaching. Play is helpful in teaching. Let us see how. Play is helpful as a teaching method. Teaching to your young children can be made very easy with the help of play. That is why playway method is used in teaching process. I repeat, playway method is used in teaching process. Children usually learn quickly with the help of this method. Next point. Play helps in reducing stress and tension. It is well known fact that the academic pressure and cutthroat competition enhance stress and tension to the children. If they are not able to cope up the stress and tension, they usually face depression. Play not only helps them to reduce stress and tension, but it also refreshes their mind and soul and give new strength and energy when they are engaged in play. Therefore, play helps in reducing stress and tension. Next point. Play helps towards happiness. Play helps toward happiness. Play is helpful in enhancing happiness. In fact, a child who is indulged in playing to be as very happy child, because play produces feelings, and that feeling of satisfaction and achievement is given by the word play. Therefore, play helps towards happiness. Now let us see the characteristics of play. First point, play is intrinsic. Play is intrinsic. Play is intrinsic and not extrinsic. That means it is from inside, not from the outside. It means that motivation to play comes from inside. Children play because they feel it is good and it gives satisfaction to them. They are motivated from inside to play, and there is no role of extrinsic motivation. Thus, we can say that play is intrinsic. Second point, play gives freedom. Play gives freedom. Children are free to choose the activity. There is no compulsion. They may play anything, whatever they like. In fact, they play whatever they want to play. They may also choose not to be involved. Sometimes they may change the direction of play. The complete control of play rests on the players because it belongs to them. There are no set rules, hence they are free to do whatever they like. Therefore, play gives freedom. Third point, play is active. Play is active. Play is active and not passive. It involves activity of children. It may be physically active, involving active engagement with physical environment. It may also involve mental activities such as imaginative play or play with words. Usually both the physical and mental activity is involved in play, therefore play is active. Fourth point, play is meaningful. Play is meaningful. Play is meaningful to the children. It provides the context for building and extending knowledge. It provides the context for building and extending knowledge, skills and understanding in a way that makes sense to the children. Thus we can say that play is meaningful. Next point, play involves low risk. Play involves low risk. Usually when we play provides a minimum of risk and penalties for mistakes. Play can also be related to the possibilities of exploring risk. There may be such type of playing activity in which children have not participated before playing. Thus, play involves low risk. Play can also be linked to the possibilities of doing something difficult or trying to do something better than they did the last time. In fact, playing activities usually involve low risk. Now let us see games and sports. Games and sports. So what do you mean by games and sports? So sports is an institutional games and sports we cannot define together. A game is a form of art in which participants, termed players, make decisions in order to manage resources through game tokens in the pursuit of a goal. Or we can say a game is an activity among two or more independent decision makers seeking to achieve their objective in some limiting context. Whereas sports is an physical competition occurring in a formally organized or corporate structure. So let us write that definition. Games. Game is a form of art in which participants, terms, players make decisions in order to manage resources through game taken in the pursuit of a goal, or a game is an activity among two or more independent decision makers seeking to achieve their objective in some limiting context. So let us write the easy one. It will be better for you to learn. A game is an activity among two or more independent decision makers seeking to achieve what their objective in some limiting context. In the same way, sports is an institutionalized physical competition occurring in a formally organized or corporate structure. Now let us see the characteristics of games and sports. First point, games and sports have a goal. Games and sports have a goal. Here the goal does not mean winning, but it relates to the situation where players use their skill to achieve a specific end point. For example, in a badminton, the end point arrives when the shuttle has landed on the court of the opponent, while the end point in football is when the ball goes into the goal post of the opponent team. Second point, games and sports have rules. These rules provide both descriptive and defining framework for how the goal is to be achieved. In the first point we have seen that games and sports have a goal. How to achieve the goal? There must be some rules. So we can say that game and sports have rules. Third point, games and sports are competitive activities. Games and sports are competitive activities. Here games and sports are competitive activity in nature. There are various level of competition in the field of games and sports. Next point, games and sports require the acceptance of rules by the players or sportsmen. Games and sports require the acceptance of the rules by the players or sports person. As we have dealt in the second point, that games and sports have rules. All the players and sports persons are operated from the same set of rules. They agree to these rules. If they do not agree to these rules, the game and sports cannot exist. So first point, games and characteristics of sports and games. We can say games and sports have a goal. To achieve that goal, we should have a set of rules. And the set of rules should be accepted by the players or sports persons. Otherwise, the games and sports cannot exist.